They've lied to you. They've been lying to you for so long, you probably can't even see it anymore. Housing is unaffordable. Healthcare is unaffordable. Food is unaffordable. College is unaffordable. These aren't new problems, and they don't just happen out of nowhere. This is a system built to keep you struggling, to keep you desperate, and to keep you in your place. Meanwhile, the top 25 billionaires increased their wealth by $808 billion in a single year. Let me put that in perspective. That's more than the GDP of most countries, concentrated in the hands of 25 people. You can't afford a decent place to live. They can buy private islands by the dozen. You can't afford to see a doctor. They can build yachts with helipads on top of their yachts. And yet, you're told the problem is the left, or the right, that it's your neighbor who doesn't vote like you, that it's immigrants, or poor people, or whatever boogeyman the media conjures up this week. But here's the truth they don't want you to see. It's not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. Let's go back to the Enlightenment. You remember that little thing, right? The movement that gave us ideas like liberty, equality, and the belief that reason, not superstition, should guide society. The Enlightenment wasn't just about freedom from kings and emperors. It was about building a society where every human being had a shot at dignity, opportunity, and self-determination. One of those core ideas of the Enlightenment was that power concentrated in too few hands is dangerous. Back then, it was kings and feudal lords. Today, it's billionaires. The modern-day aristocracy doesn't wear crowns or hold scepters. They hold stock portfolios and control the media narrative. But make no mistake, their power is just as absolute and just as much of a threat to freedom and equality. And here's where they pulled the ultimate bait and switch. They've convinced you, yes, you, that only they have the answers, that we need billionaires because they're job creators, because they're innovators, because they're somehow smarter or better than the rest of us. But let's be clear, they didn't build that wealth, they extracted it. The $808 billion they added to their bank accounts last year, that came from you, from underpaid workers, from overpriced goods, from tax loopholes that leaves you footing the bill for the roads, schools, and hospitals they refuse to pay for. And yet, they've sold you this idea that they're saviors, that without them, society would collapse. It's a myth, crafted by billionaires to keep you blaming each other instead of them. It's a narrative designed to turn class warfare into culture wars. And it's working. The Enlightenment was clear about one thing. A society built on reason and equality must distribute power widely. It must reject the concentration of wealth and privilege in the hands of a few. When the Founding Fathers wrote, "All men are created equal," it was aspirational. They didn't live up to it, not even close. But they planted the seed of an idea that society should serve all its people, not just the elites. Today, we've betrayed that idea. We've let billionaires hijack the Enlightenment's promise and turn it into a system where the few live in obscene luxury while the many struggle to survive. That's not progress. That's regression. So what do? We reclaim the Enlightenment. We stop pretending billionaires are our saviors and start recognizing them for what they are, the kings and feudal lords of a new corporate aristocracy. We demand a system where healthcare, housing, food, and education aren't luxuries for the privileged, but rights for everyone. We demand a world where the wealth we create is shared, not hoarded. And we start by refusing to play their game. We stop letting them divide us by left and right, red and blue, urban and rural, because at the end of the day, the real divide isn't between you and your neighbor. It's between you and the billionaires who are laughing all the way to the bank. This isn't just about politics. It's about justice. It's about humanity. And it's about whether we're willing to fight for the world the Enlightenment promised us, or let it slip away into the hands of greed. The choice is ours.